wander through our dreams, thinking we can better things. As good as they can be, superficial fantasy. Consumed and bound our way, thinking too much of tomorrow. Should've lived life day by day. In a flash, we burn. One last look, we turn. Down in flames. See your fire in our eyes. Down in flames. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Crimes, Killers, Cults,
and beer.
And rum and coke from a powder blue sippy cup.
Yes, that is exactly what I'm drinking.
I think there's a T-shirt in there regarding the powder blue sippy cup.
Yes.
Anyway, that's
yes,
Todd.
Yes, indeed. And that is Bill.
There's two crazy Florida men drinking beer and talking about true crime, and the fact that it's two crazy Florida men doing the talking just makes it a little bit more crazy.
Indeed.
So, but I'm drinking Bud Light, of course.
We all knew that, but that's all right.
So, I don't really have any ado. Do you?
I have no ado.
All right. Well, I do have a little bit of ado, but it's podcast related, so we'll get into that. See, tonight we're doing a famous punk rock story, and it's going to be a little fun. We figured we'd do a light one after that fucking nightmare last week.
Yeah, right. Thank God. That was terrible.
Yeah, it was. That one was rough. And damn, I must be a glutton for punishment.
Okay.
Because there's a movie called An American Crime, and it's about that. And it was made in 2007. And I was bored last night. I watched it.
All right.
And it was like a Lifetime, like a kind of a low budget Lifetime type movie and everything. It had the guy that played the Green Goblin in it. The younger guy was the son.
Willem Dafoe?
No, the son.
Oh, Harry?
Yeah.
What's his name? I can't think of his name right now. I should know it.
But
anyway, doesn't matter.
It's like, yeah. And it had, he played there was a lot that, there was a lot that wasn't, that wasn't like right and everything, and I kind of didn't really like the way that they went with it, and they left an awful lot out, but it was still brutal and everything. And I was just like, certain things would happen and everything. I'm just like, okay, I know what's coming next. And I was like, oh God, I'm wincing. And it's like, no. but they got some things wrong, and they left a lot out, and that they probably had to, because Lifetime, they have to. I don't know if it was a Lifetime movie or not, but it looked like one. But
right.
But they it was just they. If it indeed was a Lifetime movie, Lifetime, they've got to. They can't make the women look too bad if the perpetrator is a woman.
Yeah, right.
But it was just. I mean, it did portray the horrificness to a certain degree and everything, to where somebody that's not familiar with the story is going to watch that and like be horrified. But it was like, if the story itself is a 10, this movie was probably about a 5.
Oh.
As far as the horrificness, because, man, that was rough. But people are digging it. That one is being well received.
Wow.
There's some sick fucks out there, apparently. I'm kidding. I'm kidding, people.
No, y'all are great. We love you guys.
Mm-hmm. So, but I do have to make a correction.
Okay.
Because apparently we didn't math very well in that episode.
Oh, we didn't math? Okay.
Which is crazy, because we were trying to figure out when this actually took place And I'm like, okay, well, she was born in 1929. And so she was 37 when she took, when she took the girls in, Sylvia and Jenny. And we're like, okay, so this took place in the 70s. It took place in 1965.
Well, we weren't that far off. We only missed it by a little bit.
Yeah,
Anyway.
still. I mean, and I put that in the notes on the episode itself, just because I know that. Actually, I shouldn't have done that. Maybe people would have interacted. Hey, you got that wrong. It happened in 1965. You stupid asses.
Yeah, right. You dumb fucks.
Oh well, it is what it is. We don't like
F.
to do fake news here unless it's something that I made up. And then
Yeah.
and I own up to it whenever I do that. So
Yeah, we do. It's all good.
So, like I said, we've got a light one for you tonight, and you already know what it is. Because if you looked at the episode title and however you get podcasts. So,
Yeah.
But it's been a long time since we've covered a rock and roll story, unless you count the interview that we did with Chris Long.
Yeah.
But that was an interview. That wasn't as far as like a regular episode. It's been a real long time since we've done one. I think the last one we did was probably Woodstock '99.
Was it? Yeah, I think it was. I believe you're right.
Yeah, and that was a while ago.
Yeah, that's been a minute. It's about time we do another one.
Yeah. So tonight, I mean, we covered Woodstock '99. We covered the mayhem Norwegian black metal crimes. So, it just makes sense for us to do this. We did the Satanic Panic and how it relates to metal and everything. Go back and listen to those if you haven't. Those are some good episodes. But tonight we're covering the Sex Pistols bass player Sid Vicious and Nancy and his toxic relationship with Nancy Spungen.
Yeah, that's one way to put it.
Yeah, and their toxic and tragic relationship. Now we're going to get into both of their backstories, then their relationship, along with Sex Pistols information, Sex Pistols history as it applies to the two of these people.
Tally-o.
So this will be a fun one. So
Yeah, indeed. Let's hope so.
lots of the information that I used comes from Wiki because there is a lot of it there. But I also use SexPistolsOfficial.com and Biography.com.
Okay.
So, first, we'll start with Sid Vicious, who was born John Simon Ritchie on May 10th, 1957 in Lewisham, England, to John and Anne Ritchie. But I'm just going to call him Sid throughout the episode just to make things easier.
Well, yeah, because that's what everybody knows him as. Dude, I didn't even know his real name. Holy crap. And I'm a Pistols fan.
So, a little bit of irony, a little bit of coinkydink. He was born May 10th, 1957. Well, this is Crimes, Killers, Cults, and Beer, episode 57.
Oh, nice.
So,
That's a fun little coincidence.
yeah. So, okay, Sid's mother, she had joined the British Army. Hold on. Okay.
All right.
Okay. I said to John and Anne Ritchie, his parents, right? Okay. I thought I did, but I just wanted to make sure. But Anne, Sid's mother, had joined the British Army where she met Sid's father, John, who was a guardsman at Buckingham Palace and a semi-pro trombone player in the jazz circuit.
Oh, my.
Yeah. So,
That's kind of cool.
yeah. But shortly after Sid was born, his mother moved herself and Sid to Ibiza, Spain. Ibiza, Spain. Ibanez,
Yeah,
Spain.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the party spot, man. That's where everybody goes.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, dude. Ibiza's the place to be if you're, like, rich and famous and you want
they
to, like,
weren't.
rave all night. Yeah, I know. But this was a different time. And actually,
Right.
I don't even know if Ibiza's still that anymore or not either. This was like back in the
Probably
late
not.
90s, early 2000s.
Well, this was a long time before that.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
But they went there to try to do better financially, and John was supposed to join them, but he never showed, and he abandoned Sid and Ann. And Ann sold marijuana to get by, and she would later return to England to Turnbridge Wells, Kent, and enrolled Sid in school. So
Okay.
in 1965, Ann married a man named Christopher Beverly, who died 6 months later. It's like, damn, this poor woman just cannot catch a fucking break.
Right? Holy crap.
They moved to East London, and Sid began going by the name John Beverly. Because, I mean, he didn't like his father, obviously, because he abandoned them.
Yeah.
So, Anne had over time began using heroin and pills. Sid was in college, and she didn't even know it. But Sid...
Holy shit. She didn't even know?
No. But Sid had his own issues and was contemplating suicide and reportedly torturing and killing cats. Sorry, Todd.
Well, come on, man. Dude, and I like the Sex Pistols, dude. How is he doing that shit? That ain't right.
Well,
Anyway, all right. Still doesn't change the fact that I like the Sex Pistols.
I don't dislike them, but I can't say I was really ever a fan of theirs. I like the songs that I have heard.
Yeah.
But-
I mean, I'm sure we'll get to that.
Yeah. But at age 16, Anne kicked Sid out of her house. And then later in 1973, Sid met John Linden, who introduced Sid to John Gray and John Wardle. Remember, Sid's name was also John, so the group began being known as the Four Johns.
Four Johns. Oh, my goodness. That's fucking great.
Now, if they like, you know, went to prostitutes and everything, it would be really easy for somebody to recognize. Oh, it was one of the Four Johns.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Which John?
Oh, man.
It was one of the Four Johns. Yes, you're a prostitute. You have a lot of Johns. No, it was one of the Four Johns. What? You've only been with four? You've only had four clients? No, it was one of the Four Johns. That's a slapstick comedy moment right there. So they quit school and began squatting in shitholes wherever they could. Then the nicknames came. So Lyndon named John Sid Vicious after he was bitten by, take a guess.
Oh, please. A cat?
Nope.
No, a dog?
Nope.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, what else could it be? Squirrel?
Close.
Chipmunk?
Closer.
Ferret?
Further away.
Oh, damn it. I have no idea then, dude. I mean, what is a squirrel, chipmunk? What's a gopher?
Further away. You were getting closer in size and getting closer to the size. Now, when I say further away, I mean you're getting too big.
Okay, so squirrel, chipmunk, hamster.
You got it.
Yay! I knew I'd get there eventually.
So he was bitten by Lyndon's hamster Sid, who was named after Sid Barrett of Pink Floyd.
Okay.
And I picture it like, damn, Sid was vicious with you. Wait, there's your name, mate. Sid Vicious.
That's your name. All right.
That hamster's dynamite.
God.
He's got a vicious streak of wine a mile long, that hamster.
Oh, Jesus.
Give me the holy hand grenade.
Give me the holy hand grenade.
So, Lyndon's guitarist, Steve Jones, nicknamed Lyndon Johnny Rotten, and Sid named John.
Can I stop you there for a second?
Yeah,
it's not Lyndon, it's Lydon, I believe.
Lydon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Johnny. It was Johnny Rotten. I believe his name was John Lydon. I don't think it was Lyndon. I think it was Lydon.
I may have just seen that and just put the N in my notes without even thinking about it. I'm sure it says Lydon.
I believe it's Lydon. I mean, I'm fairly certain. Hold on, let me Google it real quick because I don't want to like act like I'm making you. You know what I mean? Let me check.
Okay. Well, look at the wiki page.
Yeah, it's Lydon.
Okay.
Yep.
I just absent-mindedly put the N in there.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I just want to make sure before, and just because I corrected him, feel free to fucking connect with us on Twitter and everywhere and correct him as well.
Yeah.
It'll give you guys something to talk about.
Right. So, well, I just saw Lyndon, because we had a president, Lyndon Johnson. If it was Lydon Johnson, and his name was actually Lyndon, I probably would have put Lydon.
Right.
So, but Steve Jones nicknamed Lydon Johnny Rotten, and Sid named John Wardle Jaw Wobble.
Okay.
So the group began hanging out in bars and underground clothing stores, and one of their favorite places was just simply called Sex. And where Sid met American singer Chrissy Hynde prior to her forming the Pretenders.
Okay, I got to stop you there again. It's Chrissy Hynde.
You're right. I'm thinking of Christy Hemby from another true crime case. Which one that we're going to get to eventually. But prior to her forming the Pretenders. And she reportedly wanted to marry Sid so she can stay in England, but Sid didn't want to, though.
I think I remember hearing something about that, so yeah, right on.
Yeah. So Sid and Johnny Rotten took up busking for money. Rotten would sing and play the violin, and Sid would play an acoustic guitar or tambourine. And in an email from Flaccid Jizzless, the Norwegian black metal tambourine man,
yes,
who's made an appearance on several of our episodes, he told me that he was initially inspired by a video that was floating around of Sid at the time. He said that he was impressed with Sid's aggressive style on it, and he took the idea and turned it up to 11.
All right.
Or maybe not. Maybe
not. Who knows?
Maybe I just made all of that up. But anyway, the pair would play Alice Cooper songs on these instruments, and people would pay them to stop. I wish there was video of that.
Yeah, right? No shit.
So in 1975, Rotten joined Steve Jones and Glenn Matlock and Paul Cook, and they formed the Sex Pistols. And Sid also started playing in bands as well. In 1976, Sid formed the Flowers of Romance, and he was the singer and the sax player.
All right.
The apple didn't fall far from the tree as far as that is concerned.
Yeah, right.
Other than the fact that one's a brass and one's a reed. The trombone's a brass and the sax is a reed.
But it's still jazzy instruments.
Yeah, exactly. But he formed it with Keith Levine of the Clash and Viv Albertine.
Okay.
Sid learned how to play bass by listening to Ramones records, specifically the bass technique of "I Don't Want to Go Down in the Basement." And you can definitely hear that influence in Sid's playing.
Right.
Although, we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get
now,
there.
I did listen to I Don't Want to Go Down to the Basement, you know, because it had been years since I had heard that song, but I listened to it with my headphones on, and the way that the Ramones recorded, and this is how they got their sound. The guitar is on the right, the bass is on the left.
Yeah. Well, at first, but yeah.
Huh?
I said at first, but then the Ramones got better, and they started doing like overdubs and shit. And there's like some later songs, there's a lot of
stereo.
Yeah. But yeah, at first, yeah, I mean, that's how you did punk, dude. I mean, punk was like down and dirty. You do a whole album in like a day. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, interesting little tidbit there. But, yeah, I don't know. I like the Ramones better than I like the Sex Pistols. I think everybody likes the Ramones better than the Sex Pistols.
Yeah, but I don't know, dude. I like the Sex Pistols were like different. They were different.
They were. The Sex Pistols were what brought the attitude into punk.
But it's two different things though. Like the Ramones were the American punk,
right?
And then the Sex Pistols were English punk. But I mean, there was different styles. I mean, it was just different things. You can't really. I mean, you can compare them, but I don't think you should because it's two different things. I mean, they took the same influences basically and just went different directions with it. Yeah, the Sex Pistols were the nasty. They'd rather fight you and spit on you than for you to listen to play music. And then the Ramones were like, dude, we're going to play 33 songs in 33 minutes.
In 33 minutes, yeah.
You know what I mean? So, dude, it's all good. It's apples and oranges, really, when you think about it. But it's still all good.
It's like comparing Sabaton to Dragon Force. You can't.
Yeah, you really can't. They're
both power metal. That's it.
Yeah, they're equally skilled.
Sex Pistols and Ramones are both punk. That's it. That's where the comparisons end.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, but Sid was on lots of speed and other drugs and alcohol at this point. Was regularly getting into fights, and Sid was at a Sex Pistols show in 1976. Nick Kent, who was an early guitar player for the Sex Pistols, but he had quit to become a music critic, he was there covering the show. And he was also Chrissy Hines' boyfriend. So she apparently got a green card after all.
Oh, well, she figured it out.
Yeah, so Kent was blocking Sid's view. So Sid, amped on speed and who knows what else, whacked Kent on the head with a bicycle chain that he carried with him, and Kent went to the hospital.
Oh, all right.
This incident may or may not have been the inspiration for a Back on the Chain game by the Pretenders. Maybe? Could be. I don't know.
Possibly. I have no idea.
I don't know that it wasn't.
Yeah. It may have been. Who knows?
So, no charges were filed against Sid. But the Flowers of Romance didn't last long, and the band The Damned were interested in Sid being the band's singer, and he was invited to audition. But he missed the audition, and his side of the story is that the band had given him the wrong date because they really didn't want him. And that's why he missed. I don't buy that. Yeah. You know, I'll be like, hey Sid, I like the way that you sing. I'd like for you to come out and audition for the band.
Right.
Can you do it Wednesday over here at, on Queen Street?
Yeah.
All right,
They did it on purpose. Yeah, I'm sure they did that.
Yeah, they just did it as an elaborate prank.
Yeah, of course they did.
No, Sid, you were too drunk and you didn't know.
Yeah,
you
were too
attention.
fucked up. You didn't remember.
Yeah,
Anyway,
but Sid's next band was a band that I had no idea that had been around that long.
Oh,
I thought that they came out in like the mid '80s. Take a guess.
Oh, I really don't know. I should know this, but I don't.
Susie and the Banshees.
Susie and the Banshees? Holy crap. Yeah, and I mean, I knew they'd been around that long, but I never would have guessed that.
Well, I didn't. I guess okay, maybe they did come out in the mid '80s, but they had been around paying their dues since like the '70s.
Yeah,
that's probably what happened. So maybe I wasn't wrong, in what I thought. They did come out in the '80s, and then and unless you were part of the punk scene in London back in the '70s, you wouldn't have known who they were until they came out internationally.
Yeah, right.
But he wasn't a long-standing member. He was just their drummer for the first gig at a weekend festival that was put on by future Sex Pistols manager Malcolm McLaren.
Malcolm McLaren.
McLaren. I didn't have that in my notes. McLaren. Yeah, I didn't have that in my notes. I was just interjecting it because later on I found out that he put on the festival. So McLaren, yeah. But the next day the Damned were playing, and Sid, he's got a grudge against the Damned because, it's supposed to be me up there, you fucking cunts.
Right.
So Sid, drunk and high on amphetamines, he threw a glass at the stage, attempting to hit the singer who the band ultimately had hired. And he missed, and it hit a pillar, and it broke, and the pieces hit a woman, blinding her in one eye.
Ruh-roh.
And Sid was arrested the next day, and Sex Pistols manager Malcolm McLaren and Vivian Westwood, the sex clothing store owner, had visited Sid in jail, and they brought him a copy of Helter Skelter.
Oh. All right.
Which is weird.
Yeah, that is.
Because in February of 1977, well, I get Helter Skelter. It's like, okay, dude, you're just being Helter Skelter. You're. But in February of 1977, the Sex Pistols announced that the bass player Glenn Matlock had been kicked out of the band because he liked the Beatles.
Oh.
That's why I'm saying it didn't really make any sense. It's like, so those of you who might not know, Helter Skelter was a Beatles album.
Yeah, right? Okay, well, I mean, you know what? I do. I think I do remember hearing something along that line, too, that I was like, really?
Pretty sure Glenn, he makes an appearance toward the end of the story, too. So, put a pin in that.
Putting a pin in it.
But it was announced that Sid Vicious was going to be his replacement, and Matlock maintains that he quit because he was sick of all the bullshit, which that I kind of believe.
Right. Yeah.
But Sid's over-the-top attitude and violent antics became a staple of the band, like we were talking about, a minute ago. And he is credited for inventing the pogo dance, which was a way of bumping into band members and fans that he didn't like. And it was basically the precursor to moshing.
Oh, all right.
In March of '77, the Sex Pistols were signed, and the band celebrated by trashing the record label's offices.
As you do when you get signed.
Yeah. So they then went to a bar where all the local A-list bands hung out because they were signed, so that makes them A-list as well.
Yeah, right? We're A-listers now.
Technically, I'm signed. I'm a signed musician, but I don't, I'm not A-list. I'm not even on a list.
Yeah, right. We're not even D-list musicians. We're like no-list musicians.
Right. The only list I'm on is the FBI list from all the freaking searches I do researching these cases.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there's probably definitely some kind of you're probably on somebody's watch list for sure.
So there was a
Sorry.
There was fuck. God damn. There was, oh man, there was a radio host who they confronted, demanding that he put them on his show. Like, you gonna put us? You gonna put us on the show, mate?
Right.
A fight broke out, and Sid shoved a broken bottle into the guy's face. That's not exactly a good way to be invited on somebody's radio show.
No, that's yeah.
Like, if somebody wants to come be a guest, I mean, we don't have guests very often. In 57 episodes, we've had 2 guests. Well, that's not true. We've had more than that. The collabs. But that's not a guest as in like an interview. That's like collaboration on an episode. Yeah. We've had 2 guests.
I still, that's still like a guest, but I mean, I know what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. But none of the band members were arrested, but the record label dropped them that night. They were signed for like less than 36 hours.
Jesus. Well, hey, at least they were on the A-list for a minute.
And they were also banned from all Capitol radio stations.
Oh. All right.
You probably should have picked a different way. But you know what? I mean, in hindsight and everything worked out good for them. And I don't mean like, oh, well, everything was fine and dandy and all that stuff. What I mean is like, if they didn't have that reputation that they had, they wouldn't have become the cult, the cult hit, or that they help me out here. What's the word I'm looking for?
They wouldn't have been. Yeah, they wouldn't have been as popular as they got because of. I mean, they got popular because of reputation, not because of their songs or they were excellent musicians or whatever. They got popular for being brawlers and badasses. Right,
exactly. So Sid played his first Sex Pistols gig in April of 1977. And the show was filmed, and it's in the movie Punk Rock Movie. But Sid wasn't all that good on bass. In fact, all of his bass parts on Never Mind the Never Mind the Bollocks, Here's the Sex Pistols. All the bass parts on that album were recorded by Steve Jones.
Steve Jones, yeah. It's a guitar player.
They let him play on one track, but then later on, Steve Jones went into the studio by himself and redid that too.
I have a funny story. Something similar happened to me.
Do tell.
Well, all right. I don't know if anybody's listening, but if they are, way back when, in about 2010, I think it was, I was in a band called Murderfly.
Mm-hmm.
And we booked some time in a local studio to record a CD. And the other guitar player had a Line 6 pod, like the little kidney, the old school one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the little kidney bean shaped thing, dude. And he just plugged direct into the board, and his sound is really digital anyway. And he likes that, and that's cool. I have no issue with that. But when I recorded my parts, I wanted a more raw, like organic sound that could be blended with the digital sound and make just an all out cool ass fucking sound, right?
Yeah, it would.
And so that was my plan. So that's what I did. And then like, dude, I just started recording the first song. I mean, I started laying down my tracks. The singer pokes his head in the booth and goes, "Is it going to sound like that all the time?" And I just went, "Yeah, that's what I'm going for. Trust me. I know what I'm doing." And dude, even the engineer was like, "Yeah, dude, that'll be fucking great." Are you still there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening.
Okay. No, it went really quiet. It was weird. Anyway.
I was listening.
Okay. So like even the engineer at the studio was like, "Dude, I got you." So he went into the other room, hooked up 2 Vox fucking AC30s. So I was running into them. He sets one up that's like a little overdriven and one that's pretty much clean. Mics them both up with mics that cost more than I'll make in a year. And then he runs me through then I run into I forget what it was, some kind of pedal modeler, and he dials up a fucking Tube Screamer overdrive to go into it. And I'm like listening back to it. I'm like, yes, that is it. That is exactly what I wanted. I mean, he just knew what I wanted because he was thinking the same thing. He's like, yeah, we got to do something about this fucking digital sound.
Right.
So anyway, I get done recording and everything's fine. The other guitar player's in the booth with me and he's listening. He's like, yep, that was it. You got it. Wait, do that part again. You kind of missed that. So it's not that I played the parts bad. It's just that the singer did not like the sound I used. So he made the other guitar player go in there and redo all my parts.
Oh, damn.
Because he didn't like the sound that I had. And nobody told me about it.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I wasn't even told.
Don't tell me the album was released and you're like, okay, let's see what it sounds like. You throw it into the CD player in your truck, and all of a sudden it's like, wait, that's not me. No, I found out before that happened, but I was not happy about it, and I quit the band because I'm like, look, dude, you could have just told me. He's like, hey, we're going to redo your parts because I think it'll make the song sound better. We're just going to have the other guitar player. I'm not mentioning any names. I mean, I know I named the band, so if you know the band, you know who I'm talking about. Right. I know who you're talking about. But but they didn't tell me, dude. And they were trying to like sneak it by me, not sneak it by me, but like I'd be hanging out with the singer, like riding in his truck, dude, and he would put the redone version of it in there to see if I'd notice. And I'm like, dude, you can't, dude, it's not even the official CD. It's not even. It's a rough fucking mix, dude. How am I supposed to tell if it's my guitars or not? You know, what the fuck? Whatever. It's not even the sound. It's not even the guitar sound. It's how you play it. I mean, there's a particular song of mine that I have where there's this one lick in it that many guitar players have tried to do, but they can't get it exactly the way that I do it. I know. And I'm not saying that, I'm this guitar god or anything like that, because I'm not. I'm just saying that, the things that I do with my right hand are like not common. And I'm not even talking about everything, but this one lick in particular, it's just like there's a lot of like hesitations and weird stuff in it. Guitar players will get it close, but they can't do it. Nobody has done it exactly the way that I do it. I know, because I know the song you're talking about, and I had a hell of a time getting it as close as I got it. But you got it close, but it wasn't. No, I know it wasn't right, dude. I totally know. But anyway, so it's like if I went in to record that song, and then somebody else came in and re-recorded my parts, just by even if they got my sound exactly the same way that I had it sounded, when it came to that part, I'm going to be like, that's not me. Yeah. Oh, I know, but yeah, so I guess they figured because the singer was playing the CD for me and I didn't notice it. It's okay. We don't have to tell him. He's not even going to know. But then somebody did tell me because she was privy to this subterfuge. And yeah, so that happened. But anyway. He missed a lot of rehearsals because he was in the hospital with hepatitis, likely due to his intravenous drug use. So he was using heroin, and his mother, Ann, was his supplier. He even admitted as much. Wow. He was getting his drugs from his mother. All right. Later in 1977, Sid met American groupie living in London, Nancy Spungen. And now we're going to focus on her backstory for a little bit. All right. Nancy Laura Spungen was born February 27th of 1958 and died of October 12th, 1978. And her parents were Frank and Deborah Spungen, and they lived in Philadelphia, and they were Jewish. Nancy had issues straight out of the womb, and she had severe cyanosis at birth and nearly suffocated due to almost being choked out by the umbilical cord. Oh, shit. cyanosis is a condition where your skin has like kind of like a purple, like a purplish tint to it, and due to lack of oxygen.
Oh, all right.
And now, this is just my opinion. The doctor said that she didn't have any brain damage. How could she not?
Yeah, that doesn't seem right.
Yeah. I mean, how could she not have any brain damage to that? She, to the point to where she's basically cyanosis. It can. I did some picture. I did an image search on cyanosis, and basically the like affected areas and everything. It looks like the color of a corpse. Like that that grayish kind of slightly purplish color. That's what it, and how could you have that which is caused to the lack of oxygen? How could you not have brain damage, especially as an infant?
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't get that.
Seems like it was a shitty doctor to me.
Right.
But and you know what? I am gonna fucking throw that doctor under the bus because it's just like like old Thaddeus Morton. That's a bad example.
Yeah, that's a bad example, but anyway.
But still, it's like if a doctor had told him that, you don't have any brain damage after a piece of fucking shrapnel hit him in the fucking head.
Yeah,
that was
right.
just the first thing that came to mind or whatever. But no doctor told him that though. They didn't tell him anything. But she threw frequent violent screaming temper tantrums and everything, and she was put on a liquid barbiturate at 3 months old just to subdue her, but it had no effect. This wasn't just crying. This was 24/7 nonstop screaming.
Oh, shit. All right.
But she didn't have brain damage.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
But when she got into elementary school, she actually did well, which is surprising. But
okay.
But she didn't have any friends though. She began being violent toward her younger sister and brother, Susan and David, and she threatened to kill a babysitter with scissors, and she even physically attacked a psychiatrist.
Oh, damn.
And this chucklehead said that she was just acting out for attention. So I guess she showed him.
Right. Fuck.
But, yeah, it definitely doesn't sound like she did not have brain damage to me.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you on that one.
So when she was 11, she was expelled from school because she had been skipping school for 2 weeks at a time. And there's no telling what she was doing and who she was doing it with when she was skipping school.
Oh.
So her parents enrolled her in a reform school in January, but in January 1972, she ran away and she tried to slit her wrists. And she was diagnosed with schizophrenia when she was 15. But still, she managed to pull it together and graduate high school with honors and was accepted to the University of Colorado in Boulder. She started attending college at 16 years old. That's fucking impressive.
Yeah. Holy shit.
You know, she might have had some brain damage, and she also might have been a little bit on the autistic spectrum.
Yeah, could have been that.
Because, you know, autistic people, they have their issues and everything, but a lot of them are super intelligent.
Oh, yeah.
So, but 5 months into college, she was arrested for purchasing marijuana from an undercover officer. And later, she was arrested for storing stolen property in her dorm room, and she was expelled from the college on a plea bargain, which was she was banished from. She was not allowed to come into Colorado ever again.
Oh.
And that is a thing, and we in Florida know all about that. Ron John.
Yeah.
Ron John Surf Shop. The original surf shop that now has like 7 or 8 locations just in Florida, not to mention other places in the world. Its founder is not allowed in the state of Florida because he was dealing drugs out of the back of it when it was just a building and not the freaking neon monstrosity that it is now.
Oh, no shit, right? But yeah, it used to look like a surf shop. Now it's just like a...
No, it looks like it's part of Disney World. And actually it is, because there's one in Disney World.
Oh, God, there is. Isn't there? Holy shit. Right.
Yeah, downtown Disney. Or no... What used to be Pleasure Island.
Yeah.
Where the House of Blues is. It's like right down the way from the House of Blues.
Right.
And that's just so tourists can say, hey, we went to Ron John's without them having to drive all the way to Cocoa Beach.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
I haven't been to Ron John's since it was just a 2-story building. Yeah, just like a regular looking 2-story building. Now it's got a 4-story parking garage, and just for a 4-story parking garage just to go to a fucking surf shop.
Yeah, that's not even a surf shop, dude. It's just it's a neon nightmare.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, dude, back in the day, you used to go in there when it was on at the other spot, dude, and dude, it was all like wood, board floors. And,
dude,
I know. It looked like a surf shop.
Well, it was like a smaller Bass Pro Shop.
Yeah. But I mean, dude, it looked like a surf shop, dude. I mean, it was like, it was like,
but that's what
it looked like you were on a boardwalk or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what the decor looked like. You just think like, well, the inside of Bass Pro Shops doesn't look. Think about like what the outside of a Bass Pro Shop, not the inside. The outside of a Bass Pro Shop looks like. But anyway, but I digress.
Yes, we digress.
She moved back in with her parents, but at 17 she went away to New York City and did sex work, stripping, and amateur music journalism, and she was working in clothing stores.
All right.
Well, that's pretty much everything she would need to get to where she would shortly get to.
Right.
She also became a groupie and followed bands like Aerosmith, Bad Company, and of course the New York Dolls and the Ramones.
New York Dolls. Love that band.
And she got in with the Heartbreakers, not Tom Petty's Heartbreakers. This was Johnny Thunder's Heartbreakers. She went to London with them, and that's where she met the Sex Pistols on her first night in London. Nancy found work as a stripper, but she initially had eyes for Johnny Rotten. But at the time, Johnny wasn't interested, but she was hanging out with Sid a lot, and they became inseparable. Shortly later...
You and your shortly laters.
I only do them now just for you.
Oh, I know. I know. I'm sure you do.
But Sid and Nancy moved in together, and she also got a hookup with a lot more drugs, and she actually became a drug dealer. They were an infamous couple, and Sid was a bad boy who loved to fight and do drugs, which increased once he and Nancy got together. It was basically like pouring gasoline on a fire.
Yeah.
And Nancy would go ape shit in public, leading to her to be nicknamed Nauseating Nancy by the press.
Nauseating Nancy. Kind of sounds like another famous couple that everybody might know.
The one that killed her husband?
Yeah, the one that killed her husband.
Okay. I'm sure we'll cover that one. I'm sure we'll cover that one at some point.
Yeah, we'll get there.
I mean, we're doing this one, so why not? Let us know on Twitter or whatever if you want to hear us do that one. And I'm sure everybody knows who we're talking about.
Oh, they have to.
Mm-hmm. But don't say it.
No, I'm not going to say
Yeah.
it.
If you know, you know. If you don't, find out when we do the episode, and then you'll be like, oh, them. Yeah, that's right. So once the pair became official, it started causing problems within the band, as it normally does when a band member becomes fixated on a woman.
Right.
And the band members, they didn't like her. Johnny Rotten was even pressuring Sid to cut her loose. But, he of course didn't. He was in love. And the band's manager, McLaren, at one point was planning to have her kidnapped and taken back to the U.S. and dumped off there.
Holy shit, that's hardcore.
She was literally the Sex Pistols' Yoko Ono, although she probably had a better singing voice than Yoko.
Dude, I have a better singing voice than Yoko Ono. And I can't sing a fucking lick.
In John Lennon's case, love wasn't blind, it was deaf.
Right.
So Nancy had a lot of health issues.
Oh, God, here we go. All right. Don't do it. Don't fucking do it.
I just did.
I know. Jesus. All right. I guess there's that.
Hey, I'm giving you TikTok stuff.
Yeah, you definitely are.
Oh, man. Nancy had a lot of health issues, and Sid would take care of her when she was sick. Behind closed doors, they had a normal, healthy, drug-fueled relationship with a side of physical abuse.
As you do.
Yeah. In Vicious, she found a naturally sigh soul, enduring of her hard edges, as well as the irresistible pull of a star on the rise.
Yeah. Of course, the star on the rise.
And in Spungen, he found somebody experienced in nurturing and grown-up matters of sex and drugs, while also proving needy for his own brand of affection.
Dude, the thing is that, I get that, and that it's not what you said that's funny, it's the way you said it that makes me laugh, dude. That voice, dude. You're killing it, bro.
I'm a parrot. I could do it when I sing too. There's quite a few singers out there that I can do a pretty good impersonation of.
Right on.
Like Meatloaf.
Yeah.
One onlooker later captured the unique nature of their bond, describing how Spungen once instructed Vicious to push a fawning groupie down the stairs at a club, and he did without a second thought.
Oh, my.
He was a knight in rusty armor.
Oh, shit. Yeah, okay. That's one way to... Yeah, all right.
But Nancy was physically and that's 2 weeks in a row I've gotten tongue-tied over the word verbally.
It is, isn't it?
2 weeks in a row, yeah. We did it on that fucking nightmare last week and just now.
Yeah.
But Nancy was physically and verbally aggressive, making them into a crazy power couple.
Oh, all right. Oh, see, so she was the abusive one. I figured it would have been Sid. But anyway.
Oh, they were abusive to each other.
Oh, back and forth. I got you.
Yeah, it was great for them for a time, but to anyone else who had witnessed them, it was a better you than me type situation.
Oh.
Sid even pimped Nancy out several times and watched.
Oh boy.
Sid would beat her, and Nancy even admitted to it during her final conversation with her mother, although she said that the beatings were from strangers when they were actually dished out by Sid.
Oh.
Yeah, that's everyone needs a hobby, though.
All right.
Yeah, stamp collecting, guitar collecting, photography, bird watching. The list goes on and on.
Yes, it does.
But there's one hobby that two people with explosive, volatile personalities should probably avoid. Take a guess.
Joe. I don't know.
Knife collecting.
Knife collecting?
Yeah.
Oh. Somebody better warn all the people I'm in relationships with, because I am a knife collector.
Well, you don't have an explosive, volatile, violent personality.
Yeah, true. All right, I'll give you that.
So they both loved knives, and they had an arsenal of them.
An arsenal. I love it.
Yeah. So put a knife in that.
Put a knife in that. We're saving that for later.
Despite being banned and censored, the Sex Pistols had a wild following with huge hits like Anarchy in the UK and God Save the Queen. Never mind the Bollocks debuted at number 1 on the UK album charts. It spent 48 weeks in the top 75 and is considered one of the most influential punk albums of all time. So, in July of 1977, they went on a Scandinavian tour where a 5-year-old Flaccid Jizzless would meet the Sex Pistols for a matinee performance for kids at an event for the children of a firefighters union that was on strike, and Sid signed his tambourine. No.
I know. Dude, I know. I was just going along with the story, bro.
And right now we have something special for you. Our buddy Flaccid Jizzless sent us in a song. He's heard that we were covering this case and everything. I guess he heard it from listening to last week's episode when we told that we were going to do Sid and Nancy. But he sent us in a cover of him doing Anarchy in the UK by the Sex Pistols. So we're going to roll that right now. Hit it.
Oh, nice.
Right now, I am an antichrist, and I am an anarchist. Don't know what I want, but I know how to get it. I want to destroy your passion, boy, 'cause I want to be anarchy. Anarchy in Norway is coming sometime, it may be. I gave a wrong top at the traffic light. Your future dream is a Sharpie scheme, 'cause I wanna be anarchy. It's the only way to be. Tambourine solo. There's many ways to get what you want. I used to beat, I used to rest, I used the enemy, I used anarchy, 'cause I wanna be anarchy. Rock your race, man.
Thank you, Flaccid Jizzless. We always love it when the Norwegian black metal tambourine man makes a contribution to our show. Anyway, the Sex Pistols did go on a Scandinavian tour with Nancy tagging along. They then toured Holland and the UK, and they did perform for the kids, though. That part of the story was true. On Christmas Eve in 1977 in Yorkshire, they played a matinee show for the firefighters' kids of the striking firefighters union.
Oh.
And I couldn't resist. I had to throw,
Of course.
Flaccid in there. But Before taking the stage, Johnny Rotten told Sid not to be the hardcore, tougher rocker bloke in front of the kiddies.
Oh,
And
all right.
this time he apparently did what he was asked. And Sid even stepped in on vocals when Johnny Rotten left the stage to pose as Father Christmas with some kids. He sang a Johnny Thunder cover of Born to Lose, but these UK shows were the last Sex Pistols shows that were performed in the UK until the band reformed in 1996 on the Filthy Lucre tour, which we will get to later, so put a knife in that too.
All right, knife in.
Do you like put a knife in it better than put a pin in it?
For this episode, yeah.
Oh, you don't want that to become a new thing? Put a knife in it instead of put a pin in it?
Yeah, I suppose it could.
All right. Yeah, we'll do that. Every there's podcasts out there that say put a pin in that. So we'll be the only one that says put a knife in that.
Yeah, right. That'll be our thing.
Cool. Thank you, Sid.
Thanks, Sid. Love you.
Mean it.
Love you, mean it.
So, in January of 1978, the Sex Pistols went on a 2-week U.S. tour, and Nancy was banned from accompanying them, which pissed Sid off.
I don't doubt it.
Tempers were flaring in the band, and Johnny Rotten was barely talking to anybody. Their record label insisted that Sid get off of heroin, so he was on methadone. And McLaren had Sid on a strict $14 a week per diem, but he still managed to find drugs.
Jesus, $14 a week?
Back then, that was probably around $40 or $50, but still.
Yeah, dude. I realized this was still the 70s, but damn, dude. I think in the 80s I was getting more allowance than that.
Yeah, and I was a tour manager for a British rock band back in like the early 2000s, and they were getting like $20 a day per diems.
Yeah. Oh shit! Really? Only $20 a day?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they could take out advances on their pay, but they and this is a true story too. You know that picture frame I have with that band that I have up in the 24x36 frame. That's what that was from. That's a true story. I ain't making this up.
I'm not saying.
But they were they were allowed per their management for a $20 a week or a day per diem, and they also got a paycheck at the end of at the end of each week. So, so I mean that's not a bad gig.
No,
that's
not at all.
That's not a bad situation.
I mean, I guess as long as that's not like, that's just here's your walking around money. The rest of your money's going into the bank account. Right? That's fine.
Well, their paycheck, they were allowed to do whatever the hell they wanted to with it. I mean, it was 2003. We had to find places for them to go, they didn't have paychecks. I paid them in cash, but it was logged.
Right.
And then they would have to, it's just we would just have to find somewhere that would basically cash the the band's manager would wire me money to like a Western Union, and I'd go get the cash and divvied it out and everything. They didn't get paid hardly anything for the gigs.
Oh, all right.
I think the most they got in one night from a gig was like $300.
Oh damn. Well, dude,
so it was a promotion tour. It was a promotion tour. It was a like let's get noticed tour.
Yeah.
So they were opening one of the bands that they opened for was Caesar.
Oh, nice.
And I think it was Caesar. I can't remember, but yeah, that was that was in Austin, Texas, and it was definitely a cool experience. It gave me a lot of our friends and everything that grew up in the scene that was Brevard County back in the day, they know everything about the local scenes and everything, but only a handful of them have toured. And I'm in that group, even though I'm in that handful, even though I wasn't a performer, I was a manager,
Right.
But still, have I been on tour? Yes, I have. So, yeah. But anyway, hashtag. But I digress.
Yeah, we digress.
Yeah, it was that $14 a week per diem that got
Right.
to me. But $14, damn. But McLaren, not wanting to, any more craziness or trying to limit the craziness, he didn't book the Sex Pistols in the big places like L.A. or New York City.
Okay.
He booked them in dive bars in Tennessee, Georgia, and Texas, and places like that. And in San Antonio, a fan pissed Sid off, and he whacked him in the head with his bass.
Oh.
At the Longhorn Ballroom in Dallas, Sid carved the words "Give me a fix" into his chest.
Oh, shit.
And he joked, he's just like, if you're trying to kill yourself with a razor to the chest, it won't work. But really, he was just saying, got drugs?
Right.
Hook a brother up. But during the show, now keep in mind, this is in fucking Dallas. He said he called the audience cowboy faggots.
Oh, boy. Oh,
That's
boy.
not, and that's, I just have to put it out there. We got to, so we don't get canceled or anything. That was him saying it in Texas, in Dallas, back in the 70s, okay? So
Yeah.
obviously, that's not going to go over very well.
No.
Somebody threw a full can of beer at him and it hit him in the head.
Oh, of course.
The next night in Tulsa, Oklahoma, he punched a hole in the wall of the green room at the place that they played. They didn't go to L.A., but they did go to San Francisco.
All right.
Sid had basically checked out at this point. He didn't even bother to plug his bass in, and there's video of this that you can find. There's a break in the song Bodies where it's just the bass and it was quiet. During the sound check, Johnny Rotten had told the sound guy to turn... Hey, bass guy!
Hey, bass guy.
That would be Sid, right? But
Yeah, that would be Sid.
during the sound check, Johnny Rotten had told the sound guy to turn Sid down because his bass was too loud. And Sid got butthurt over this and just unplugged for the entire show. Nobody noticed until that moment in the song Bodies.
Oh, all right.
The opposite end of the Jason Newsted issue with And Justice for All by Metallica.
Yeah, right.
So after the show, Johnny Rotten made his famous quote, "Ever feel like you've been cheated?" And with that, the Sex Pistols were done. So the band members went their separate ways, and Sid flew from San Francisco to New York City, and he was on methadone and shit-faced on alcohol, and he passed out and went into a coma. He was rushed to a hospital in Queens where the doctor said that if he didn't quit drinking, he'd be dead in 6 months.
Oh.
When he was released, Nancy was there waiting for him. And in April, they went to Paris to form a mockumentary about the Sex Pistols called The Great Rock and Roll Swindle,
Yes.
which was a fictitious account of the band's history. Johnny Rotten wanted nothing to do with it, calling it horse shit. I haven't seen the movie, have you?
I haven't, but I know about it.
But, it sounds to me like it was horse shit. I mean, I'm not going to go too deep into what the movie was about, but it sounded like it was just basically Malcolm McLaren just stroking his own ego.
Yeah, pretty much.
That was the gist I got from it from the research. So Sid recorded and performed 3 songs for the movie, and one day he went back to the hotel and he found Nancy bleeding from the wrist. She had slashed them, but not deep enough to put her life in jeopardy. It was just, she just wanted attention because Sid had left her alone.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're both fucking narcissists.
Yeah, that's true.
So Sid and Nancy returned to London, but they needed to go back to the U.S. to need money. So Sid bumped into original Sex Pistols bass player Glenn Matlock. I told you he'd be coming back.
Yeah.
He had a band called The Rich Kids. Not the best name.
No, not the best name.
Not the best name.
But I suppose
Matlock
it worked.
Yeah, I guess so. But Matlock suggested they play a gig together, so the two of them used Rich Kid's guitar player and singer Steve New, the Damned drummer Rat Scabies.
Rat Scabies. You gotta love that. You gotta love these punk rock names, dude. The punk rock names are great.
Yep. And this band would be called, take a guess.
Oh, I don't know. I should remember, but I don't.
Vicious White Kids.
Vicious White Kids. Alrighty then.
Sid was on lead vocals. While Matlock was on bass. And they played a one-off gig, and they had the money that they needed to get to New York City. Nancy joined them on stage, but Matlock made sure that her mic wasn't plugged in. It's kind of reminiscent of that video with John Lennon and Yoko Ono joining Chuck Berry on a TV performance.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Have you seen that?
No, I have not.
Of course you have. Oh God, you got to. Like when we get done with this episode, go to YouTube and type in Chuck Berry, John Lennon, Yoko, and you'll find it. It's
all right, I'll look for it.
It's fucking gold.
All right,
and I'll link it in the episode notes when we release the episode.
I'll check it out.
If you haven't seen it, listeners, if you haven't seen it, you need to watch this because this is just gold. But so Sid and Nancy went back to New York City and they checked into room 100 of the Hotel Chelsea. That was their second room because they had started a fire in the first room that they were assigned. Nancy stepped into the role of manager. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
And she put together, but actually she didn't really do all that bad. I mean, she put together a band for Sid, and she booked them at a bar called Max's Kansas City, which was a weird name for a bar in New York City, but whatever.
Yeah, all right.
Man, it's Max's Kansas City. It's like what is it? Is it basically like a country bar or something like that in the middle of New York City?
No idea, bro. I think I think a lot of that is just the name.
Yeah, Kansas City, whatever. Well, it definitely sticks out.
It's just the name of the place. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
You're going down the strip and everything, and you're seeing Scores. You're seeing Club 66 or whatever the fuck it was. You're seeing, you're seeing this, you're seeing that. All of a sudden, Kansas City. Let's check that out. Actually, you know what? That's not a bad name. That is not a bad name.
It is not.
Now that I think about it. But they had a residency there, and Sid drew large crowds, and Nancy sang with them as well, and this time her mic was plugged in.
Oh boy.
Sid wasn't well received, and he was booed relentlessly when he tried to imitate Johnny Rotten on the Sex Pistols songs. There's a live album called Sid Sings where you can hear these songs and as well as others. And Sid actually made good money for these shows, but Nancy had to hit up her mother for money, saying that she was having kidney problems and she wanted both Sid and herself to detox.
That was probably a good idea.
Yeah. On October 11th of 1978, Sid and Nancy threw a party in their hotel room, and Sid took around 30 Tuinol tablets, which is a combination of 2 barbiturate salts combined.
Oh.
He took 30 of them. It was a sedative hypnotic sleep aid, and it's been discontinued. You can't get that anymore. But Sid passed out supposedly for the rest of the night. 11 a.m. the next morning, Nancy's dead body was found by hotel staff on the bathroom floor with a knife wound in her abdomen.
Oh.
And Sid was found wandering aimlessly through the halls. And Sid initially admitted to killing her after a dispute that got physical, but then said that he didn't remember anything. They all black out. No, I don't remember anything.
Yeah.
Can't tell if this is true or a dream. Deep down inside, I feel the scream. This terrible silence stops me.
Right.
Of course I went there.
Of course you went there.
There was only one way to go with that. There was only one way to go with that.
Right?
2 people said that they had seen Nancy alive at 5 a.m. The murder weapon was a hunting knife that Nancy had bought Sid a few days prior. So Sid was arrested and charged with second-degree murder, and he told the police that, yeah, he did stab her, but he never meant to kill her.
Of course not. They never mean to kill him.
God damn it, Todd! You pissed me off. I'm just going to stab you. Oh, it's okay because it's okay, Bill. You know, I'm still alive. No, if you were still alive, you'd be coming after me with a gun.
Yes, I would.
And then I wouldn't be alive.
Fuck.
So he also said that he didn't remember anything, and I already said that. But then he said that Nancy had fallen on the knife. She fell on it.
She fell on it. Of course.
I stabbed her. It was a single stab wound. I stabbed her. Didn't mean to kill her, but she fell on the knife. That's what I meant.
That's what I meant.
That's what I meant. She fell on it.
Yeah, she fell on it. That's what happened.
Yeah, so technically I stabbed her, but really it was just her falling onto my knife that I had strategically placed where she would fall on it in the vicinity of her abdomen.
Right? Jesus. These stories, man. Holy crap.
I know. You know what? There's a fucking... Our episode next week is going to be like a potpourri episode of last meals and last confessions combined with like a list of, you know, like a very condensed version of what these people did to get themselves there. We're going to get as many of them as possible and into it. I mean, we're
right on.
You know, so I mean it's going to be a fun episode, but another episode like that would be ridiculous excuses, your ridiculous stories.
Yeah, right. No shit.
I mean, so, but so yeah, there you go. That's what next week's episode is going to be. But it'll be a fun one. We're, you know, y'all. you deserve a couple light ones after that fucking nightmare last week. And oh
Yeah,
my
right.
God.
No shit. Anyway.
I can't believe it. And that was episode 56. And in 56 episodes, I have never made Todd tap out one single time.
Yeah.
Todd tapped out on that episode.
I did. I totally did.
He even said, "Fuck you, Bill. Let's just finish this fucking shit."
Yes.
I felt bad for you, bro. I really did.
No, dude. I knew what I was getting into, but at the same time,
You just didn't know the scope. You didn't know the scope of it.
yeah. At the same time, I was just, oh fuck me, dude. Oh my God. But anyway, yes, that's the first time in that many episodes that I actually tapped out.
Oh God, I felt for you. I felt for you. I really did. And and to be honest with you, I was. It's like you can hear it in my voice too. I was not right. On that one either.
No, that one was so bad, so tough. Jesus, yeah. Anyway, moving on.
It was a good episode. It was well delivered and everything. It's a good episode, but it's just
it was too much.
Yeah.
But anyway,
there's worse out there, and we'll be better prepared for it for when those episodes comes. #AntHillKids.
Yes, yeah, I'm still mentally trying to prepare for that one too.
That was it's gonna be a while.
Oh, good. So I got time. All right, because that one might be a tap out too. I hope not. I'm gonna do my best to not tap out, but it could be.
Well, that's why it's going to be a while. Yeah,
I can't tap out like twice in a row, man. Come on. We know that. It's all good.
Yeah. You're allowed 2 tap outs for the existence of the podcast, and you've already used one of them.
Shit, I've already burned one. All right.
Yeah. I haven't yet.
No, you haven't.
I can't. I don't have the option
you can't tap out because you're the one that's doing all this shit. If you tap out, then I got nothing. Anyway,
like I'm tapping out, and Todd's just like,
all right, send me the notes. Email me the notes. I'll try and finish it. Oh boy. Anyway.
Oh boy. But ultimately Sid did admit to killing her. But a public defender, this is where it gets really interesting. As if it wasn't interesting before. A public defender was assigned to Sid, but Sex Pistols manager Malcolm McLaren and Sid's mother, Ann, they were shopping for a big-name lawyers. And they settled on F. Lee Bailey. Does that name ring a bell to you?
What was the name?
F. Lee Bailey.
F. Lee Bailey. Oh, wasn't that OJ?
That was OJ. That was also, he was part of OJ's dream team. He also represented Albert DeSalvo, the Boston Strangler, Patty Hearst, U.S. Army Captain Ernest Medina for the Malay Massacre.
Oh.
All of these are possible future CKCB episodes.
Wow.
O.J. Simpson, maybe not. But
yeah, probably not.
Patty Hearst, definitely.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Albert DeSalvo, maybe. And I don't know anything about Ernest, the U.S. Army Captain Ernest Medina. I don't know anything about that, but that sounds he was on trial for the Malay Massacre, so it's just like, okay, I'm gonna look into that. That might be a good episode for us.
Yeah, could be.
But
we'll see.
But on this one, Bailey never appeared in court, but one of his attorneys that he had working under him handled the case. But Bailey was, he was working it, but just from the behind the scenes, and he had, somebody else just basically take his notes and go in and handle it.
Right. Yeah.
It's not like he was dissing Sid. It's just he's a busy man and they wanted him, so it's just like, okay, this is the best I can do for you.
Right.
Which, still, not a bad situation to be in if you're accused of murder and confess to it.
Yeah. I can think of worse things.
Right. So he arranged for Sid to be released on $50,000 bail under the condition that he couldn't leave New York City and that he had to report to the homicide unit 5 times a week. And his legal fees were paid by the record label. Now, McLaren believed that allegedly, and allegedly is me. I don't believe, but we're going to get there.
Right.
McLaren believed that Sid was innocent. He said that he believed that one of the party guests was the one that killed Nancy. Like I said, I have to wonder about that. Sid was responsible for the breakup of the Sex Pistols.
Uh-huh.
He didn't like Sid, and he knew how crazy Sid was and how volatile his relationship with Nancy was. Personally, I think McLaren saw a cash cow that he could milk if Sid was found innocent.
Right.
But a third party angle, a third party was the angle that Bailey took with it. And Sid and Nancy had kept their cash in a drawer in the hotel room, and they said that a guest had found it and was trying to steal it, and Nancy walked in on the guest, and the guest killed her.
Oh. Okay.
Bullshit.
Yeah, that's a little sus, I think.
Sid tried to kill himself by slashing his wrist with a broken light bulb, and he was found. 911 was called, and when the medics and police got there, Sid bolted toward the window, but he was stopped. So, he was all in. He was ready to just end it right there, but they stopped, and he was taken to Bellevue, and he was released on November 28th and went back to the same hotel room. Johnny Rotten tried to contact Sid, but his calls were blocked by his mother and by McLaren, who were there with him, which is more evidence that makes me think that McLaren was just seeing dollar signs when it came to Sid.
Yeah.
In an interview with a newspaper, Sid said that Nancy's death was meant to happen because she had always said that she'd be dead before she was 21. She was murdered at the age of 20. Oh. Sid said now that he just wanted to go have fun. And Sid was asked where he would like to be, where he wanted to go have fun, and he said under the ground.
Oh shit. All right.
That can mean two different things.
Yeah, it could.
One, it's like, I just want to go underground.
Right.
Or I want to die.
Yeah. Yeah, it could go either way.
But he didn't go either of those places. Not yet, anyway.
Right.
McLaren announced that the Sex Pistols would be reuniting to record a Christmas album to cover Sid's defense fund, and T-shirts were printed that said, "She's dead, I'm alive, I'm yours."
Wow.
Cash cow, anyone?
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah. Fuck. Holy crap.
Fuck Moo, McLaren.
Fuck Moo.
What episode was that on?
I don't remember. I totally forgot about that until you just said it, dude. Holy crap.
I know. And it's not, I didn't even put it in the notes. It just popped in my head. Fuck Moo. Fuck Moo. What the hell? It had to, Boone Helm, maybe?
Maybe.
No, it was Bone Mazel.
Was it Bone?
We were talking about branding the cows. Yeah,
yes,
it was Bone Mazel.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Fuck Moo. Oh boy.
Fuck Moo.
Fuck Moo. That is fucking great.
But we had said, we said earlier that Sid's legal costs were covered by the record company, all of them. So this was just a cash grab that McLaren was gonna do to just get more money. Oh, help out Sid's legal defense. I don't like this guy, McLaren. I don't like him.
Yeah, dude, he's like the boy band dude.
Yeah, he is. Lou Pearlman.
Yeah, he's exactly like him,
Except,
dude. He just, like you mentioned the New York Dolls earlier. He started that band to cash in on that early '70s kind of hard rock glam scene that was going on. Like Aerosmith and Bowie and shit like that. And then when that went nowhere, and punk started getting big, he started the Sex Pistols because he's just doing it for the money. He doesn't care.
So he really is the precursor to Lou Pearlman.
Yeah.
Except Lou Pearlman was much more successful at it than McLaren.
Well, yeah, but yeah, basically
much more.
Yeah, he was. I'm sure Malcolm McLaren was Lou Pearlman's role model.
Probably.
But anyway,
get to ask that fat fuck, and that's another Lou Pearlman. We're going to cover him at some point.
Yeah. Anyway,
there's no cult. Well, he might. He's culty. He's not a cult, but he's culty.
Lou Pearlman's not a cult. He's a Svengali.
Yeah. But there's definitely crimes in that one.
Yeah, there's crimes, and it could be considered culty, I suppose.
And I'm sure there's beer. We're talking about 20-something-year-old young men. There's beer.
Yeah, there's beer. Beer, booze, drugs, all of it. I'm sure it's all there. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, it's all there. Hashtag, but I digress. But, so Sid began having fun, although he wasn't under the ground yet. He began seeing various women, including artist Julie Nyland, Connie Grip, who was ex-girlfriend of Dee Dee Ramone.
Oh, right.
And expiring. Aspiring actress named Michelle Robison, and even Johnny Rotten's ex-girlfriend Danielle Booth.
Oh, wow.
He's banging all these girls at one time and everything, because he doesn't, from the time that Nancy died to the time that he dies, there's not a lot of time in between.
Right.
On December 5th, Sid went to the Hurrah nightclub with Booth, two photographers, and comedian Michael Mora, a.k.a. Rocket's Red Glare. And he was Sid's self-appointed bodyguard. And the band that was playing that night was a band that sounds like that it probably would have been more appropriate to be in the early to mid-90s than back in the 70s. It was called Skafish.
Skafish?
Yeah.
I like it. Were they actually a ska band?
I don't know, but that's why I'm saying that name seems better suited for the 90s.
Yeah, right. Anyway,
but they had a drum tech, a woman named Tara, and she was the girlfriend of a man named Todd Smith, who was the brother of famous folk singer Patti Smith.
Oh.
So Sid started hitting on her, and she shot him down, and he pinched her in the ass.
All right.
And Smith told Sid to back off, so Sid smashed a beer bottle and shoved it into Smith's face, and Smith needed 5 stitches to fix it. And Mora said that Smith, the comedian bodyguard, he said that Smith had provoked it, and that the bottle had broken in Sid's hand, and the wounds that Smith had were from flying glass.
Oh, all right.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happened. Of course it is.
Sid was arrested, and the judge didn't buy that tall tale.
Of course not. Why would you?
Because you wouldn't?
Exactly.
I mean, flying glass isn't going to embed into your fucking face.
No.
Like that.
Not like that.
It's gonna slice you a little bit. That's about it. About all you're gonna get from flying glass. From a broken beer bottle, yeah, that's all you're gonna get.
Yep. Anyway.
Now, if you're standing next to a plate glass window during a hurricane and it shatters, then you're fucked.
Yeah, that's an entirely different story, though.
Yeah. But The judge said that with this assault, Sid had violated the terms of his bail, and he was sent to Rikers Island, where he underwent a forced detox.
Okay.
And on January 18th, Sid, and forced detox, that basically means cold turkey, strapped to a bed.
Yeah.
On January 18th, Sid appeared in court represented by Bailey's guy. Keep in mind, he still hasn't gone to trial for Nancy's murder yet. This was for the assault on Todd Smith.
Okay.
The world-class judge James Leff released Sid on $10,000 bail and reduced his bail conditions. He had to finish his detox program, and he now only had to report to homicide 3 times a week, the homicide unit 3 times a week. But for good measure, he said that Sid wasn't allowed to go to nightclubs anymore. Brilliant!
Right.
Brilliant!
Yeah, fucking brilliant. Holy shit.
Such great. I'm a judge. I judge things. That's what I do. What movie is that from?
I don't know.
I'm a judge. I judge things. That's what I do. I don't know.
I don't know.
It was reported that Mick Jagger had posted his bail, and even Johnny Rotten believed it, but it wasn't true.
Right.
So who paid it? Take a guess.
Oh, dude, it had to be Malcolm, right? Or the record label or something. Some shit.
It was the record label. Like I said, the record label paid all of his expenses, his legal fees.
Mm-hmm.
Sid's mother, Ann, was interviewed, and she said that she was happy with the outcome, and now Sid would show the public that he was a good boy.
Oh, all right.
So, on February 1st, 1979, Sid finished his detox program, and he was released from Rikers Island. What do you think the first thing that he did was?
Went to find drugs.
Yep. First thing he did was to ask a friend to find him some heroin. So he went to Michelle Robison's apartment, and she, the friend brought him some heroin there, and Sid, Robison, his mother Ann, and a couple others sat around and did drugs until 3 a.m. One guy who left after dinner said that when he had left, Sid was nodding off, and that his mother Ann was giving him Quaaludes to help him sleep when he left.
Oh.
Sid died during the night of an overdose, and Robison found him the next morning. So Ann was giving him Quaaludes on top of heroin.
Yeah, but he was doing methadone or whatever, which isn't the same.
No, but he was off. He was detox.
I know, but he was used to doing methadone and had to do more of it. That's why when the guy gave him heroin, he went like methadone with it and
Hold on, put a knife in that, because
all right,
it's not the way that you're saying it.
I'm put a syringe in it. I'm just the way I remember it. When you derail your co-host.
Put a syringe in it. I did not see that coming.
I got you. Anyway.
So, in the aftermath, Ann said that Sid and Nancy had a suicide pact and that Sid's death was not accidental, and she was obviously trying to shift blame from herself. She produced a handwritten note that she allegedly found in Sid's pocket saying that he wanted to die in his baby's arms and that he didn't want to be without her. That's
all right.
That's sketchy. That's sketchy to me.
Yeah.
I don't buy that.
Yeah, that seems a little bit off. There's something sus about that for sure.
Yeah, he doesn't. It doesn't exactly sound like a grieving lover. Sid with he's like fucking everything that moves. It doesn't exactly sound like a grieving lover to me.
No, it doesn't.
And nobody in the research that I did has ever, nobody ever conducted a handwriting analysis on this note that Anne produced versus Sid's handwriting.
Right.
That was not mentioned at all. But you would think that you might want to do that.
You would
you know?
think.
I mean, hell, I could probably do it with a quick Google Images search.
Yeah, right?
Like find something like song lyrics or something that Sid had written, and then combine it, because I'm sure that there's an image of that letter available online. I should have done it. I should have done it for this episode. I should have done that. Fuck.
Well, dude, you know what? We can do like a short little addendum episode to this, maybe, like down the road a little bit.
Or I could just do it right now.
Yeah, we're already at like almost 2 hours. Let's just get this over with.
Yeah, but there's at least 20 minutes coming out of this.
Still?
Huh?
There's still 20 minutes left?
No, I said there's at least 20 minutes coming out of this. We're not at 2 hours.
Oh, I know, but I mean,
just over
you know what I mean,
yeah.
though, dude. You know what I'm saying. When I say 2 hours, I mean we've been breaking and doing all that shit, but
yeah, I'll see if I can find that, and then next week, and it's a potpourri episode anyway.
Yeah.
So next week I'll report on what I found.
Yeah.
Like to start the episode. That'll be my adieu.
That'll be my. You know what, dude? I'll try to find some more conspiracy theories about what went down. I know we haven't got there yet, but
we're almost there.
But yeah,
I mean, we are almost done.
Oh, my headphones are about to die, so hurry up.
Okay. One reporter claims that Anne confessed to him in an interview that she injected Sid with a lethal dose of heroin so that he wouldn't have to serve a long murder sentence.
All right.
So the story went overwide. Worldwide overnight. Worldwide overnight. And this was obviously pre-internet. And there were many conspiracy theories about what happened. And there's a debate over whether Sid actually did kill Nancy. I personally think he did.
Yeah.
And I also think that his mother should do time.
Right.
In 1996, McLaren and Johnny Rotten announced the reunion tour with all the original Fuck! I can't talk! In 1996, McLaren and Johnny Rotten announced the reunion tour with all the original members. I remember this announcement. I saw it on MTV.
Yeah.
Huh?
I said, yeah. No, I remember too.
Yeah, somebody asked Johnny Rotten how they could do an original lineup with reunion without Sid. And Johnny said something along the lines of, and I'm paraphrasing, "Go do your fucking research, you cunt. Sid was not an original member, and I hope that piece of shit is burning in hell."
Oh, Jesus.
But it's true.
It is.
It's like and then when they did the reunion, Matlock was on bass.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so you can find a lot of Sid's music on Spotify. I personally didn't listen to any of it. So we're done. But what do you think? Do you think he killed Nancy?
I think so. I mean, it's just. I mean, there was just. Like you said, they were both narcissists. There was just so much going on. They were so high all the time. I think he did it. But I also, in the kind of like in the back of my mind, I think he did it because they were just fucked up and he didn't realize, I don't think he realized what he was doing.
Yeah. And you know what? I can see that. But still, he did it.
Yeah, no, I think he did it.
Yeah, and yeah, for Sid to, yeah, just like, okay, maybe we'll do, okay. I just had an idea.
All right.
We do our addendum episode and the conspiracy theories, episode. We do that on Patreon.
All right.
Which is, we make that a Patreon episode.
All right. That sounds good. Anyway, let's wrap it up before my headphones die.
Okay, it'll be out. It'll be out eventually.
Yeah.
We have 8 episodes, and we're gonna do more. So when it does get released, you're probably gonna have about 10 or 12 episodes to listen to when it does get released. So I mean,
Yep.
so it's just we're working on it.
We are.
Todd's
Life happens.
in the process.
Yeah, life happens.
Yeah, Todd's in the process of setting up a home recording studio, an actual home recording studio, rather than his kitchen table, which is where he is right now.
Yes.
So that shit takes time, and once he gets everything set up and everything, all of the other stuff is going to fall into place, like the YouTube, the Patreon, everything. So, but anyway, thank you for listening, and we I had a good time with this one.
Yeah, this one was fun, man.
Yeah, and it was definitely good palate cleanser after that fucking nightmare last week.
Yes, indeed.
And next week's episode is going to be another kind of lighthearted, fun one as well. So follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Billzilla Prod. Or Billzilla Productions on YouTube. There's nothing there yet, but there will be before too long.
Yes.
Just follow us, and for heaven's sakes, interact with us on social. We want that. We had somebody start to interact with us, and this is a shout out to her. Although she's not going to hear it for a while because she starts from the beginning. So, actually, you know what? Give me a talk for a second, Todd.
My headphones died. Well, the right one died. The left one is about to die. Anyway, not the point.
All right. Talk for a second.
I'm trying to talk for a second. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
Her name is Nicole McKnight, and she interacted with me briefly on the Facebook page. So, like, you know what? In this early stages and everything, of the interactions, everything, you interact with us, you might get a shout out. Shout out to Nicole McKnight. You're fucking awesome.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, thanks for listening. Rate and review us, please. Interact with us, please.
Yes.
We want to talk shit with you. And anyway, until next week, later.
Cheers, everybody.